The alarm screamed through every corridor of Nexus 7 space station. Red lights flashed on every wall. Station Chief Kang Minho jumped from his chair in the command center. He had never heard this alarm before in his 5 years running the trade. "Station! What is happening?" Kang Minho shouted over the noise. Communication Officer Kim Hye-sung looked up from her screen. Her face was pale. "Sir, we are getting an emergency message from the Hegemony Fleet. Commander Vextal is sending it to all ships in the sector." The main screen lit up. A tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms appeared. His voice was shaking. "Attention, all vessels. In Sector 7. This is Commander Vextal of the Hegemony Fleet. We have detected a human warship entering our space. All civilian ships must keep their distance. All military vessels are ordered to defensive positions. This is not a drill." The message ended. The command center became very quiet. Kang Minho stared at the screen. He was human, but he had lived among aliens for so long that he sometimes forgot how other species saw his people. "A human warship?" Kim Hye-sung whispered. "Here?" Navigator Lee Sora was working at her station in the corner. She had been checking ship movements all night. Now she was looking at something on her screen with wide eyes. "Sir?" Lee Sora called out. "I am picking up the ship's signal. It is the HSS Indomitable, Earth Defense Force registration." Kang Minho felt his stomach drop. The HSS Indomitable was not just any human ship. It was a battle cruiser, one of the biggest and most dangerous ships in the human fleet. All around the station, alien crews began to panic. Through the windows of the command center, Kang Minho could see the docking bays. Zephyrian traders were running to their ships. Their long, thin bodies moved faster than he had ever seen them move before. They were trying to leave the station as quickly as possible. "Sir," Kim Hye-sung said, "I am getting messages from all over the station. The Clicktar delegation has locked themselves in their rooms. The Morvani merchants are asking for emergency transport off the station. Everyone wants to leave." Engineer Choi Minji's voice came through the communication system. "Chief Kang, the aliens in Engineering Bay 3 are trying to shut down the power grid. They think it will hide the station from the human ship." Kang Minho rubbed his forehead. This was getting out of control very quickly. "Choi Minji, stop them. We need power to run the station. Kim Hye-sung, send a message to all department heads. Tell them to report to the command center right now." Lee Sora was still watching her screens. "Sir, the human ship is 2 hours away from the station. It is moving at normal speed, not attack speed." This was strange. If the humans were planning to attack, they would be moving much faster. They would also have more ships with them. One battlecruiser was powerful, but humans usually attacked in groups. The door to the command center opened. Dr. Park Jae-won rushed in. She was the station's expert on alien biology, but she also knew a lot about human behavior. Behind her came Security Chief Nam Jungmin, also human. "Chief," Dr. Park said, "I have 6 different alien species asking me if humans really eat their enemies. They want to know if the stories about human rage are true." Nam Jungmin shook his head. "The security teams are having trouble keeping order. Half the aliens want to fight, and half want to hide. None of them want to stay calm." Kang Minho looked around the command center. His human staff seemed calm, but worried. The few aliens who worked in command were clearly scared. One Vorthon technician was shaking so hard he could not work his controls. "Listen, everyone," Kang Minho said loudly. "We are a neutral trade station. We help all ships that need help. That includes human ships. We will not panic, and we will not run away." A hegemony officer on one of the communication screens started shouting, "Station Chief Kang, You must evacuate all civilians immediately. Human warships are extremely dangerous. Kang Minho looked at the alien officer. Commander, this station has been here for 20 years. We have helped ships from every species in the galaxy. We have never turned away anyone who needed help. But this is different, the commander said. These are humans. They do not follow normal rules of war. Kim Hyesung received another message. Sir, I am getting a communication request from the HSS Indomitable. They want to talk to us. The command center became quiet again. Everyone stared at the communication console. Even talking to humans was considered dangerous by many alien species. Put them through, Kang Minho said. The main screen changed. A human face appeared. The man was young, maybe 30 years old. He had short black hair and calm eyes. He looked tired, but not angry. This is Captain Lim Sunwoo of the Terran Defense Force vessel HSS Indomitable. We are requesting permission to dock at your station. Several aliens in the command center made scared noises. One Zephyrian technician ran out of the room. Captain Lim continued. We have damage to our ship and wounded crew members. We need emergency repairs and medical help. Kang Minho stepped forward. Captain Lim, this is Station Chief Kang Minho. What happened to your ship? We responded to a distress call from a civilian convoy. They were under attack by pirates. We engaged the hostile forces and took damage during the fight. Dr. Park moved closer to the screen. Captain, how many wounded do you have? 12 crew. Members need medical attention. 3 are in serious condition. Kang Minho made his decision. Captain Lim, you have permission to dock. We will prepare docking bay 7 for your ship. Dr. Park will have medical teams ready. Thank you, Station Chief. We will arrive in 90 minutes. The communication ended. The command center was very quiet for a moment. Then Kim Hyesung's communication board lit up with dozens of messages. Every ship captain in the area was asking what was happening. Some were demanding that the station refuse to help the humans. Others were threatening to leave the sector immediately. Sir, Lee Sora said, 3 merchant ships have already left the station. 5 more are preparing to leave. Engineer Choi Minji's voice came through the speakers again. Chief, I need permission to prepare docking bay 7. The human battle cruiser is much bigger than our normal ships. I will need to modify the docking systems. Do it, Kang Minho said. Whatever you need. Nam Youngmin looked worried. Chief, I should prepare security teams. If the aliens panic when the humans arrive, we might have trouble keeping order. Good idea. But remember, we treat the human crew as guests, just like everyone else. Dr. Park was already making plans. I will prepare Medical Bay 2 for the wounded humans. I should also prepare sedatives for any aliens who panic when they see human soldiers. As his staff worked, Kang Minho looked out at the space around the station. In the distance, he could see ships leaving. The aliens were so scared of one human ship that they were willing to abandon profitable trade deals just to get away. He wondered what had made humans so feared across the galaxy. He had worked with humans his whole career. They could be tough and stubborn, but they were not monsters. Yet every alien species seemed to think humans were the most dangerous creatures in the universe. In 90 minutes, he would find out why. The HSS Indomitable was coming, and everything was about to change. Captain Yoon Daeho sat in his small ship's dining area, drinking coffee and trying to stay calm. His merchant vessel, the Star Dancer, was docked at Nexus 7 for routine trade. Now he was watching the news feeds about the approaching human warship. Around His mixed alien crew whispered among themselves. They all knew the stories about humans in combat. Every spacer in the galaxy knew these stories. "Captain," his Vorthan engineer said, "should we leave the station? My people say humans are very dangerous when they are angry." Yundeho shook his head. "We have cargo to deliver. Besides, the humans asked for help. They are not here to fight." His click-tar navigator made clicking sounds. In her language, she was saying that humans always fought, even when they said they came in peace. "That is not true," Yundeho said. "I have met humans before. They can be peaceful." But even as he said this, he remembered the stories. Every trader who traveled the space lanes knew about human military actions. They were not just stories. They were history. The siege of Kepler 442 was the most famous. A human frigate called the HSS Defiant had been escorting a medical supply convoy when pirates attacked. The convoy had 12 ships. The pirates had 30 ships, including 2 cruisers. The human captain ordered the convoy to run while his single frigate stayed to fight. For 6 days, the Defiant held off the entire pirate fleet. The human ship was much smaller and had fewer weapons, but it would not give up. The pirates tried everything. They surrounded the human ship. They tried to ram it. They even offered to let the humans go if they would just leave. The human captain refused every time. On the 6th day, a human fleet arrived to help. They found the Defiant still fighting. The ship was badly damaged. Half the crew was dead or wounded. But they had not surrendered. The pirates had lost 8 ships trying to destroy 1 human frigate. After that battle, pirates began to avoid convoys with human escorts. It was not worth the cost. Then there was the Battle of the Void Gate. The hegemony had built a massive military station to control traffic through an important hyperspace route. The station was huge, with thick armor and hundreds of weapons. It was supposed to be impossible to capture. A human fleet arrived with orders to take the station. Instead of attacking from outside, they did something no one expected. Human Marines in small assault ships flew directly at the station's docking bays. Most species would have used missiles or long-range weapons. Humans chose to board the station and fight hand-to-hand. The battle inside the station lasted 3 hours. The humans fought through every corridor and every room. They captured the command center and took control of the entire station. The hegemony forces outnumbered the humans 3-1. But it did not matter. After the battle, hegemony military leaders studied the recordings. They wanted to understand how humans had won. What they found scared them more than the defeat itself. The humans had not won because they were stronger or had better weapons. They had won because they refused to give up, even when winning seemed impossible. Human soldiers kept fighting even when they were badly wounded. They worked together in ways that other species could not understand. Dr. Park Jiwon was in her medical bay, preparing for the wounded humans who would arrive soon. 3 alien doctors worked with her. They kept asking questions about human biology. "Dr. Park," the Morvani physician said, "is it true that humans can fight even when they are seriously injured?" Dr. Park nodded. "Human bodies produce chemicals, called adrenaline, when they are in danger. This allows them to ignore pain and keep fighting. But the stories say humans continue fighting even when they should be dead," the Vorthan surgeon added. Dr. Park paused in her work. "There are documented cases of human soldiers fighting with injuries that would kill most other species. I have seen the medical reports myself." The alien doctors looked at each other nervously. They had heard about human stubbornness, but they thought it was just propaganda. In Engineering Bay 3, Choi Minji was working with alien technicians to prepare the docking systems. The aliens were talking about human technology. I heard human ships are designed differently, the Zephyrian engineer said. They build them to take damage and keep working. Choi Minji nodded. Human ships are built for war. Even our civilian ships have armor and weapons. We learned to build them that way because space is dangerous. But why do humans always fight? The Clicktar technician asked. Most species try to avoid war. Choi Minji thought about this question. Humans do not like war, but we do not run away from it either. If someone threatens our people or our friends, we fight. In the station's bar, alien crew members from different ships were sharing stories and rumors. Most of them had never seen humans fight, but they all knew someone who had. A hegemony trader was telling anyone who would listen about the Raider Wars. My cousin was there when humans first joined the fight against the Void Raiders. The Raiders had been attacking shipping for 10 years. No one could stop them. The human fleet was small, he continued. Maybe 20 ships. The Raiders had over 100. Everyone thought the humans would be destroyed quickly. The alien paused to drink from his glass. Instead, the humans started hunting the Raiders. They did not wait for the Raiders to attack. They found the Raider bases and destroyed them one by one. The worst part, the trader said, was that the humans did not take prisoners. The Raiders had been selling captured crews as slaves. When the humans found out, they stopped following normal rules of war. A Morvani freighter captain nodded. I heard that too. The humans said slavery was unacceptable. They gave the Raiders one chance to surrender and free all their prisoners. When the Raiders refused, the hegemony trader continued, the humans became very serious about ending the war. They hunted down every Raider ship and every Raider base. The war was over. In 6 months, the stories continued. Everyone had heard something about human military actions. The Kelthari Rebellion, the Battle of Three Suns, the liberation of Arcturus Station. In every story, humans were outnumbered. In every story, humans won. What made the stories scary was not just that humans were good fighters, it was that they never seemed to give up. Other species would surrender when the situation became hopeless. Humans would find a way to win anyway. Security Chief Nam Jung-min was reading reports from across the galaxy. Human actions were always recorded and studied by other military forces. Everyone wanted to understand how humans fought so effectively. The reports all said the same thing. Humans used tactics that other species considered too dangerous. They took risks that should have gotten them killed. They attacked when they should have defended. They advanced when they should have retreated. But somehow, it worked. Human commanders seemed to understand that other species expected them to follow normal military rules. Instead, humans did the unexpected. They turned defensive battles into offensive victories. They made small forces seem much larger through clever tactics. Nam Jung-min closed the reports and looked out at the space around Nexus 7. In less than an hour, a human battle cruiser would arrive. The aliens on the station were scared because they knew what humans could do in a fight. What they did not understand was that humans only fought when they had to. The HSS Indomitable was not coming to attack anyone. It was coming because its crew was hurt and needed help, but the reputation was hard to escape. Humans had become known as the species that could not be defeated. Every alien in the galaxy knew the stories. Every alien wondered if the humans would someday come for them. The communication system announced that the human ship would arrive in 30 minutes. Across the station, aliens prepared for the worst, while humans prepared to help their own people. The reputation of humanity preceded them, casting a long shadow across the stars. Station Chief Kang Minho stood in the main conference room, looking at a table full of angry alien ambassadors. Each species had sent their representative to demand action about the approaching human warship. Ambassador Thexvel of the Hegemony slammed his 4 fists on the table. "Station Chief, you cannot allow this human ship to dock. They are a threat to everyone here." The Zephyrian trade representative was much calmer, but equally worried. "Chief Kang, our ships are valuable. We cannot risk them being destroyed by human weapons." Ambassador Krethak of the Clicktar delegation made rapid clicking sounds. The translator device said, "The Clicktar Collective demands immediate evacuation of all civilians. Human military forces do not distinguish between combatants and non-combatants." Kang Minho raised his hands for quiet. "Ambassadors, please listen. The human ship has requested emergency assistance. They have wounded crew members and damage to their ship. Under station regulations, we must provide aid to any vessel in distress." "But these are humans," Ambassador Thexval shouted. "They do not follow normal rules." Dr. Park Ji-won entered the conference room carrying a data pad. She had been monitoring alien communications across the station. "Chief, I have been analyzing the situation. The alien crews are showing signs of extreme stress. Heart rates are elevated, stress hormones are increasing, and some species are beginning to enter fight-or-flight responses." The Morvani ambassador, who was usually very quiet, spoke up. "Dr. Park, our people have heard stories about human behavior in combat situations. Are these stories true?" Dr. Park looked uncomfortable. "Ambassador, humans can be very effective in combat. However, they are also capable of great compassion. The crew requesting help fought to protect civilian ships from pirates." "That makes it worse," the Hegemony ambassador said. "If they destroyed an entire pirate fleet, what will they do to us?" Communication Officer Kim Hyesung's voice came through the intercom. "Chief Kang, the human ship is trying to establish communication again. They are asking about docking procedures." Kang Minho looked around the table. "I am going to talk to them. You are all welcome to listen." The main screen in the conference room activated. Captain Lim Sunwoo appeared again. This time, the alien. Ambassadors could see him clearly. He looked tired and worried, not angry or threatening. "Station Chief," Captain Lim said, "we appreciate your willingness to help. Can you tell us what medical facilities you have available?" 3 of our crew. Members need surgery as soon as possible." Dr. Park stepped forward. "Captain, this is Dr. Park Ji-won, Chief Medical Officer. We have a full surgical suite and can handle most types of injuries. What type of wounds are we dealing with?" "Plasma burns and impact injuries. 1 crew member has internal bleeding. Another has severe burns over 30% of his body." The alien ambassadors listened to this conversation with surprise. The human captain sounded like any other ship commander dealing with a medical emergency. He was not making threats or demands. Ambassador Thexval whispered to the other aliens, "This could be a trick. Humans are known for deception." Kang Minho heard this and became annoyed. "Ambassador, the captain is trying to save his crew members' lives. What kind of trick involves pretending to have wounded soldiers?" Captain Lim continued. "We also need repair materials for our hull plating and power systems. We took significant damage during the engagement with the pirates." Kim Hyesung spoke from her station. "Captain, how many crew members will be coming aboard the station?" "Only essential personnel. Myself, our chief medical officer, our chief engineer, and a small security detail. The rest of the crew will remain on the ship." The Clicktar ambassador made clicking sounds. The translator said, Why do you need security personnel if you are here for peaceful purposes? Captain Lim looked directly at the camera. Ambassador, we are a military vessel in foreign space. Standard protocol requires us to have security when visiting civilian stations. Our security team will be unarmed except for basic defensive equipment. This was unusual. Most alien military forces brought full weapon loads when visiting neutral stations. The idea that humans would voluntarily limit their weapons seemed impossible. The Morvani ambassador asked, Captain, what happened to the pirates who attacked the convoy? Captain Lim's expression became serious. The pirate fleet has been neutralized. They will not threaten any more civilian ships. All of them? The Zephyrian representative asked. All of them. The conference room became very quiet. The aliens were trying to understand what neutralized meant. In their military traditions, it usually meant destroyed or captured. Dr. Park asked, Captain, were there any pirate survivors? Who might need medical attention? Negative, Doctor. The pirates chose to fight to the end rather than surrender. Ambassador Thexaval looked around the table at the other aliens. The implication was clear. An entire pirate fleet had been destroyed. By one human ship, the pirates had not even been able to escape. Engineer Choi Minji's voice came through the intercom. Chief, Docking Bay 7 is ready for the human ship. I have modified the docking clamps and prepared additional power connections. Captain Lim nodded. Thank you, Engineer Choi. We will begin docking procedures in 15 minutes. The communication ended. The conference room was quiet for a moment. Then Ambassador Thexaval spoke. Did you hear what he said? They destroyed an entire pirate fleet. The Ravager pirates have been operating in this sector for 5 years. No one has been able to stop them. The Clicktar ambassador was making rapid clicking sounds. The translator was having trouble keeping up. The collective must be informed immediately. If humans can destroy the Ravager fleet with one ship, what can they do with an entire fleet? Kang Minho stood up. Ambassadors, I understand your concerns, but right now, we have wounded people who need help. That is our first priority. Doctor, Park added, I suggest we focus on the immediate situation. The human crew is coming aboard for medical and repair assistance. They have followed all proper protocols. The Morvani ambassador looked thoughtful. Dr. Park, in your opinion, do the humans pose a threat to this station? Dr. Park considered the question carefully. Based on their communications and behavior, I believe they are here exactly for the reasons they stated. They need help, and they are asking for it politely. But they are still humans, the Zephyrian representative said. Even peaceful humans are dangerous. Security Chief Nam Jongmin entered the conference room. Chief, I have prepared security teams to escort the human visitors. I have also prepared evacuation routes for station personnel if needed. Kang Minho frowned. Nam Jungmin, we will treat the human crew as guests, not prisoners. I understand, sir. But the alien crew members are very nervous. Some of them are asking to be locked in their quarters until the humans leave. Ambassador Thexval stood up. Station Chief, I demand that you implement full security protocols. All human personnel should be escorted at all times. Ambassador, that would be insulting to people who are asking for our help. The Clicktar ambassador made a suggestion. Perhaps a compromise. Human personnel can move freely in designated areas, but restricted from sensitive sections of the station. Captain Yoon Daeho's voice came through the intercom. Station Chief, this is Captain Yoon of the Star Dancer. I can see the human ship approaching. It is much larger than I expected. Kim Hye-sung checked her screens. Sir, the HSS Indomitable is requesting final docking clearance. Kang Minho looked around the conference room one more time. The alien ambassadors were still afraid, but they were not trying to stop him anymore. "Give them clearance to dock," he said. Through the windows of the conference room, they could see the human battle cruiser approaching Docking Bay 7. Even damaged, the ship looked powerful and dangerous. Scorch marks from weapon hits covered its hull, but its weapon systems were still clearly visible. The aliens watched in fascination and fear as the massive human warship slowly moved into the docking bay. In a few minutes, they would meet the crew of this ship face to face. Everything they had heard about humans was about to be tested. The HSS Indomitable moved slowly into Docking Bay 7 like a wounded giant. Engineer Choi Minji watched from the control booth as the massive human warship carefully positioned itself at the docking platform. Even damaged, the ship was impressive. It was 3 times longer than the largest merchant vessel that normally used the station. Weapon ports lined its hull, and despite the battle damage, it looked ready for another fight. Bay 7 control to Indomitable, Choi Minji spoke into her communicator. "You are cleared for final docking. Watch your starboard side. You have a damaged section that looks unstable." "Copy that, Bay 7. We see the damage. Moving very slowly to avoid structural failure." Through the large windows of the docking bay, hundreds of aliens watched the human ship dock. They stayed far back from the windows, as if the ship might suddenly attack them. Station Chief Kang Minho and Dr. Park Ji-won waited on the docking platform with a small medical team. Security Chief Nam Jung-min stood nearby with 2 security officers, all of them human. The docking clamps locked into place with a loud clang that echoed through the bay. The airlock connection sealed, and green lights showed that the atmosphere was safe. "Docking complete," Choi Minji announced. "All systems show green. The human ship is secure." On the platform, Kang Minho straightened his uniform. He had met many different alien species, but he had not seen other humans in military service for several years. The airlock door opened. Captain Lim Sunwoo stepped through first, followed by 4 other humans. They all wore dark blue uniforms with the Earth Defense Force symbol on their shoulders. Behind Captain Lim came a woman with medical officer insignia, then a man with engineer markings. The last 2 were clearly soldiers. They moved like fighters, and their eyes constantly scanned the area around them. "Captain Lim," Kang Minho said, stepping forward. "Welcome to Nexus 7. I am Station Chief Kang Minho." Captain Lim saluted briefly, then shook hands. "Thank you for allowing us to dock, Station. Chief. This is Medical Officer Han Ga-young, Chief Engineer Ryu In-hwan, and Marine Sergeant Bae Won-ho." Dr. Park moved forward. "Medical Officer Han, I am Dr. Park Ji-won, Chief of Medical Services. We have surgical facilities ready for your wounded." Han Ga-young nodded gratefully. "Thank you, Doctor. We have 3 critical cases and 9 others, with various injuries. I have all their medical files here." As the humans talked, aliens throughout the docking bay watched them carefully. The humans looked normal. They were not monsters or killing machines. They were just people who looked tired and worried about their crew. Engineer Ryu In-hwan was examining the docking facilities. "Very nice setup," he told Choi Minji. "You modified the power couplings for our ship size. That was good thinking." Choi Minji felt proud. "I have worked with many different ship types. Human ships use more power than most, so I upgraded the connections." "We appreciate it. Our main power distributor took damage in the fight. We will need to replace several components." Marine Sergeant Bei Wanho had positioned himself where he could see both the ship and the station corridors. He was not threatening anyone, but he was clearly alert and ready for trouble. Nam Jung-min approached him. "Sergeant, I am Security Chief Nam Jung-min. Do you need anything from our security department?" Bai Wanho relaxed slightly when he realized Nam Jung-min was also human. "Chief Nam, thank you. I just need to know the security protocols for this station. We do not want to cause any problems. The aliens are nervous about having human military personnel here. It would help if your people stay in designated areas." "Understood. We are here for repairs and medical help, nothing else." Dr. Park and Han Ga-young were already walking toward the medical bay with the wounded crew members on stretchers. The injured humans looked bad: plasma burns, broken bones, and other serious injuries. As they passed through the corridors, aliens pressed themselves against the walls to get out of the way. Some looked curious, but most looked scared. One young Zephyrian technician stared openly at the humans. He had never seen human soldiers before. They looked like the aliens he knew, but there was something different about the way they moved and held themselves. "They look so confident," the Zephyrian whispered to his supervisor. "That is what makes them dangerous," the supervisor replied. "Even wounded, they do not show fear." In the medical bay, Dr. Park and her team worked alongside Han Ga-young to treat the injured humans. The alien medical staff watched in fascination as the human doctor worked. "Dr. Han," the Morvani surgeon asked, "this human has burns over 30% of his body. How is he still conscious?" Han Ga-young checked the patient's vital signs. "Humans have high pain tolerance and strong will to survive. He stayed awake to help treat other wounded crew members during the battle." The alien doctors looked at each other in amazement. Most species would be unconscious from pain with injuries this severe. In Engineering Bay 7, Ryu In-hwan was working with Choi Minji and her team to assess the damage to the Indomitable. The human ship's hull had several large holes where enemy weapons had hit it. "How did your ship survive this much damage?" the Kliktar engineer asked. Ryu In-hwan pointed to the ship's internal structure. "Human ships are built with multiple backup systems. When one system fails, another takes over. We also have damage control teams that repair systems during combat." "You repair ships while fighting?" "Of course. We cannot stop fighting just because something breaks." The alien engineers were impressed. Their ships usually had to retreat for repairs if they took significant damage. Captain Lim and Kang Minho were walking through the station corridors, discussing repair schedules and supply needs. Aliens they passed stopped whatever they were doing to stare at the human captain. "Your crew seems very nervous," Captain Lim observed. Kang Minho nodded. "Most of them have never met humans before. They have heard stories about human military actions." "What kind of stories?" "Stories about humans who never surrender. Battles where humans won against impossible odds. The Siege of Kepler 442. The Battle of the Void Gate." Captain Lim was quiet for a moment. "Those stories are true. But we do not fight because we enjoy it. We fight because sometimes fighting is the only way to protect innocent people." They reached the main observation deck. Through the large windows, they could see the space around the station. Several alien ships were keeping their distance, afraid to come too close while the human warship was docked. "Captain," Kang Minho asked, "what really happened with the pirates?" Captain Lim looked out at the stars. "We received a distress call from a civilian convoy. 12 cargo ships carrying medical supplies and food to a colony world. The Ravager pirates were attacking them." "How many pirate ships?" 17 vessels, 3 cruisers, 8 destroyers, and 6 fighter squadrons. Kang Minho felt his stomach drop. 17 ships against 1. Those odds were terrible. The convoy had over 3,000 people aboard, including families and children. We could not let them be captured or killed. So you attacked 17 ships with 1? Captain Lim nodded. We used hit-and-run tactics. Attacked their largest ships first to break their command structure. Used the asteroid field to our advantage. Made them fight us one at a time instead of all together. And you destroyed all of them? The pirates had a choice. They could surrender and face trial for their crimes, or they could fight. They chose to fight. Kang Minho understood now why the aliens were so afraid. The human captain spoke about destroying 17 ships, as if it was just another day at work. But there was something else in Captain Lim's voice. He was not proud of the killing. He was proud that the civilian convoy had escaped safely. Back in the docking bay, more aliens were gathering to watch the human ship. They stayed far away, but their curiosity was stronger than their fear. Humans working on repairs moved efficiently and professionally. They did not threaten anyone or act aggressively. They just did their jobs. Slowly, some of the aliens began to realize that these humans were not the monsters from the stories. They were people doing their duty, taking care of their wounded friends, and trying to fix their damaged ship. But the ship itself was still intimidating. Even damaged, the Indomitable looked like it could destroy the entire station if it wanted to. The weapons were real, and the armor was thick enough to stop most attacks. The humans aboard were peaceful, but they were also clearly warriors. They moved like people who had seen combat and survived. They worked together like a team that had been through many battles. As the day continued, the aliens on Nexus 7 began to understand something important. Humans were not monsters, but they were also not like other species. They were something new and different, protectors who would fight anyone and anything to defend the innocent. The question was, what would happen when the repairs were finished and the human warship was ready to leave? Dr. Park Ji-won worked carefully on the burned human soldier. The plasma burns covered his arms and chest, but he remained conscious and alert. Around her, alien medical staff watched in amazement. "Doctor," the wounded man said, "how are the others?" "Your friends are going to be fine," Dr. Park replied. "You should worry about yourself right now." The human smiled weakly. "Ma'am, I am Corporal Kim Tae-hyun. I need to report our status to the captain." Medical officer Han Ga-young was working on another patient nearby. "Corporal, the captain knows you are here. Rest and let the doctors work." The Morvani surgeon whispered to Dr. Park, "Why does he want to report for duty when he is so badly injured?" "Humans have strong loyalty to their teams," Dr. Park explained. "They feel responsible for each other." In the station's main conference room, Captain Lim Sun-woo was meeting with Station Chief Kang Minho and the alien ambassadors. This time, the alien seemed more curious than afraid. "Captain," Ambassador Thexaval said, "we have heard different reports about what happened with the Ravager pirates. Can you tell us the details?" Captain Lim activated a small holographic projector. A three-dimensional map appeared, showing the star system where the battle took place. At also 800 hours, we received a distress signal from civilian convoy Delta 7. 12 cargo ships carrying supplies to the Kepler 442 colony. They were being attacked here near the asteroid belt. The map showed the positions of the ships. The civilian convoy was scattered and trying to escape. The pirate ships were surrounding them like hunters. The convoy had over 3,000 civilians aboard, Captain Lim continued. Families, medical personnel, teachers. The pirates were planning to capture them and sell them as slaves. The alien ambassadors looked uncomfortable. Slavery was illegal in most of their societies, but some criminal groups still practiced it. When we arrived in the system, the pirates had already disabled 4 of the civilian ships. They were boarding them and taking prisoners. The Clicktar ambassador made clicking sounds. "Captain, your ship was outnumbered 17-1. Why did you not call for help?" "Ambassador, by the time help arrived, the civilians would have been dead or captured. We had to act immediately." Lieutenant Oh Seung-jae, the tactical officer, stepped forward. "Sir, may I explain our battle plan?" Captain Lim nodded. Oh Seung-jae was young but very smart. He had planned most of the tactics they used against the pirates. "The pirates expected us to attack their entire fleet," Oh Seung-jae said. "Instead, we hid in the asteroid field and attacked their command ship first." The holographic map changed to show the battle movements. The human ship appeared as a blue dot, moving quickly between the asteroids. We used torpedo attacks against their cruiser while staying hidden behind large asteroids. The pirates could not use their numbers advantage because they could not see us. Ambassador Thexval leaned forward. "But eventually they would have found you." "Yes, sir. So after we destroyed their command ship, we moved to Phase 2. We attacked their troop transports." The map showed the human ship appearing suddenly near the ships that were boarding the civilians. Quick attacks, then disappearing again into the asteroid field. "The pirates had to choose," Oh Seung-jae explained. "They could chase us and let the civilians escape, or they could continue capturing civilians and let us attack them freely." "What did they choose?" the Morvani ambassador asked. "They split their forces. Some ships chased us, some stayed with the civilians. This made them weaker in both places." Captain Lim took over the explanation. "For the next 4 hours, we played hide and seek in the asteroids. Every time pirate ships came after us, we destroyed 1 or 2, then disappeared again." "But you still had to face their main fleet eventually," the Zephyrian representative said. "Yes. After we had reduced their numbers and freed all the civilian ships, we came out of the asteroids for the final battle." The holographic map showed the last phase of the fight. The human ship faced 8 remaining pirate vessels in open space. By this time, the pirate commanders were angry and frustrated. They attacked us all at once, without coordination. Oh Seung-jae smiled. "That was exactly what we wanted. When enemies attack in anger, they make mistakes. We used our ship's superior acceleration to stay ahead of their heaviest weapons," Captain Lim said. "We picked off their ships one by one while avoiding their main gun batteries." The alien ambassadors watched the tactical display with growing amazement. The human ship moved in patterns that seemed impossible: sudden turns, rapid accelerations, attacks from unexpected angles. "How did your ship survive the damage?" Ambassador Thexval asked. "Human ships are built differently," Captain Lim explained. "We expect to take damage in combat, so we have multiple backup systems and damage control teams." Engineer Ryu In-hwan joined the conversation. "During the battle, we had teams repairing systems while we were still fighting. When our main power distributor was hit, we rerouted power through secondary systems." "You repaired your ship during combat?" the Clicktar ambassador asked. "Of course. The battle does not stop because something breaks." The Morvani ambassador looked thoughtful. "Captain, this battle plan seems very risky. What if the pirates had been more organized?" "Then we would have adapted our tactics," Oh Seung-jae said simply. "Humans are good at changing plans quickly when the situation changes." Dr. Park entered the conference room with a medical report. "Captain, your wounded crew members are stable. 2 will need several days of recovery, but they will all survive." Thank you, Doctor. How are my people behaving as patients? Dr. Park smiled. They keep trying to help treat each other instead of resting. I had to order them to stay in their beds. The alien ambassadors found this amusing. Most species focused on their own recovery when injured. Captain Yoon Daiho's voice came through the intercom. Station Chief, we are receiving a news transmission from the Kepler sector. The civilian convoy has arrived safely at their destination. Put it through to the conference room, Kang Minho said. The main screen showed a news reporter standing in front of a busy spaceport. This is reporter Vex Dan at Kepler 442 Colony. The civilian convoy attacked by pirates 3 days ago has arrived safely with all crew and passengers accounted for. The reporter continued. Colony Administrator Tholvin credits the human warship HSS Indomitable with saving over 3,000 lives. The medical supplies and food aboard the convoy will help this colony survive the coming winter season. A human woman appeared on screen, one of the convoy captains. The human ship appeared just when we thought we were all going to die or be captured. They fought 17 pirate ships to save us. We owe them everything. The transmission ended. The conference room was quiet for a moment. Captain, the Morvani ambassador said, your crew fought those odds to save people they had never met? Ambassador, that is what military forces are supposed to do. We protect civilians who cannot protect themselves. Ambassador Thexaval looked confused. But there was no profit in it for you. No strategic advantage. Why risk your ship and crew for strangers? Captain Lim stood up and walked to the window overlooking the docking bay. Ambassador, humans believe that some things are more important than profit or strategy. Protecting innocent people is one of those things. Oh Sung-jae added. The pirates had been attacking ships in this sector for months. If we had not stopped them, they would have continued capturing and killing civilians. So you destroyed them to prevent future attacks, the Kliktar ambassador said. We gave them a choice, Captain Lim said firmly. They could surrender and face trial for their crimes. We offered this choice several times during the battle. What did they say? They said they would rather die fighting than face justice for what they had done to their victims. The alien ambassadors exchanged glances. This was not what they had expected to hear. The humans had not simply attacked and destroyed the pirates. They had tried to capture them alive first. Engineer Choi Minji's voice came through the intercom. Captain Lim, we have completed the preliminary damage assessment on your ship. You need new hull plating, power distributors, and several weapon systems. How long for repairs? If we work around the clock, about 36 hours. Understood. Begin repairs as soon as possible. As the meeting ended, the alien ambassadors realized something important. The humans were not the bloodthirsty warriors they had imagined. They were protectors who used violence only when necessary to defend the innocent. But that somehow made them even more impressive. They had risked everything to save strangers. And they had won against impossible odds through skill, courage, and determination. The question now was, what kind of people were capable of such things? Engineer Choi Minji was working in the repair bay with a mixed team of humans and aliens. She had been worried about how the alien workers would react to the human military personnel, but something unexpected was happening. The humans were helping. Everyone, not just their own people. Engineer Ryu Inhwan was showing a young Kliktar technician how to properly weld human hull plating. The metal is harder than what you usually work with, he explained patiently. You need to heat it longer but use less pressure. The Kliktar made clicking sounds of understanding. Human ships are built to last through many battles? That is, right. We cannot build new ships as fast as we can damage them, so we make them tough enough to survive. Nearby, Marine Sergeant Bei Wanho was helping carry heavy repair equipment. A Vorthan engineer was struggling with a power unit that was too heavy for his thin arms. "Here, let me help," Bei Wanho said, lifting the unit easily. "Thank you," the Vorthan said. "I thought human soldiers only knew how to fight." Bei Wanho laughed. "In the military, everyone learns to do many jobs. I can fight, but I can also repair equipment, cook food, and even perform basic medical care." The alien workers were beginning to relax around the humans. They had expected dangerous warriors, but these people were friendly and helpful. In the medical bay, Dr. Park was watching Han Gayung work with the alien medical staff. The human doctor was teaching them about human biology, but she was also learning about alien medical techniques. "Dr. Han," the Morvani surgeon said, "your healing methods are very aggressive. You use surgery even for minor injuries." Han Gayung nodded. "Humans heal quickly from surgery, but slowly from some other injuries. We prefer to fix problems immediately rather than wait." "But what if the surgery fails?" "Then we try again." Humans do not give up easily, even when treating medical problems. The alien doctors were fascinated. Most species preferred to let their bodies heal naturally whenever possible. Humans seemed to prefer taking action, even when it was risky. Dr. Park was treating a Zephyrian technician who had hurt his arm while working. As she worked, she asked Han Gayung about the wounded human soldiers. "How are they handling their injuries?" "They are worried about getting back to duty," Han Gayung replied. "Corporal Kim keeps asking when he can return to work. I told him he needs at least 5 days of recovery." "What did he say?" "He asked if there was anything useful he could do while lying in bed." The alien medical staff looked at each other in amazement. Most patients wanted to rest as much as possible while recovering. In the station's main dining area, something interesting was happening. The human crew members were eating with alien workers, sharing stories and jokes. Lieutenant Oh Sung-jae was sitting with a group of alien technicians, explaining human tactics. The key is to make the enemy react to what you do, instead of you reacting to what they do. A young hegemony engineer asked, "But what if they do something you do not expect?" "Then you adapt quickly. The side that can change their plans fastest usually wins." Captain Yoon Dae-ho was listening from a nearby table. He had been trading in this sector for 10 years, and he had never seen aliens and humans talking so easily together. Maintenance Chief Ryu In-hwan was telling stories about his home planet to a group of curious aliens. "Earth has many different environments. Hot deserts, cold mountains, wet forests. Humans learn to survive in all of them." "Is that why humans are so adaptable?" a Vorthan asked. "Maybe. We learned that when the environment changes, we have to change with it or die." The aliens found this fascinating. Most species came from planets with stable environments. They were not used to constant change and adaptation. Security. Chief Nam Jung-min was making his rounds through the station. He had been worried about tension between humans and aliens, but instead, he found cooperation and friendship. In Engineering Bay 3, he found humans and aliens working together to install new power systems on the Indomitable. They were laughing at jokes and sharing technical knowledge. In the medical bay, alien doctors were learning human surgical techniques, while human doctors learned about alien biology. In the dining areas, mixed groups were discussing everything from military tactics to cooking recipes. "This is not what I expected," Nam Jung-min said to himself. Dr. Park found him in the security office, updating his reports. "Chief Nam, how are things going with security?" "Better than expected, Doctor. The aliens are not afraid anymore. Some of them are actually enjoying working with the human crew." "What changed their minds?" Nam Jung-min thought about this. "I think they realized that humans are not monsters. We are just people who happen to be very good at fighting when we need to be." In the ship repair bay, engineer Choi Minji was amazed at how efficiently the mixed human-alien teams were working. The humans brought different techniques and tools, while the aliens contributed their own specialized knowledge. "Engineer Ryu," she said, "your people seem to work well with everyone." Ryu In-hwan paused in his welding. "Humans learned long ago that cooperation makes everyone stronger. We fight together, work together, and survive together." "Even with aliens?" "Especially with aliens. Different species have different strengths. When we combine those strengths, we can solve problems that none of us could handle alone." A Clicktar technician approached them. "Engineer Ryu, I have a question about human psychology." "What do you want to know?" "Why do humans take such risks to help strangers? The civilians in that convoy were not your people." Ryu In-hwan set down his tools and thought carefully. "I think it is because humans understand that we are all connected. If we let bad things happen to others, eventually bad things will happen to us too." "So you help others to help yourselves?" "No, we help others because it is the right thing to do. But helping others also makes the galaxy safer for everyone." The alien technician made thoughtful clicking sounds. This was a different way of thinking than most species used. In the command center, Station Chief Kang Min-ho was reviewing reports from all over the station. Every department reported the same thing: humans and aliens working together successfully. Communication. Officer Kim Hee-sung looked up from her console. "Sir, we are getting messages from alien ships throughout the sector. They want to know what is happening here." "What kind of messages?" "They want to know if the humans are really peaceful. Some ships are asking permission to approach the station." This was surprising. For the past day, ships had been leaving the area to avoid the human warship. Now they wanted to come closer. "What should I tell them?" Kang Min-ho looked out at the repair bay where humans and aliens were working side by side. "Tell them that Nexus 7 is operating normally. All peaceful ships are welcome." Captain Lim Sun-woo entered the command center with Lieutenant Oh Sung-jae. "Station Chief, we wanted to thank you for your hospitality. Your people have been very helpful." "Captain, your crew has been model guests. They have helped our workers as much as our workers have helped them." Oh Seung-jae smiled. "Sir, that is how humans prefer to work. We believe that everyone benefits when people help each other." Navigator Lee Sora looked up from her station. "Captain Lim, I am seeing something interesting on the long-range sensors." "What is it, Navigator?" "Ships are approaching from all directions. Merchant vessels, passenger ships, even some military escorts. They all seem to be coming here." Captain Lim frowned. "That could be a problem. Are they hostile?" Kang Min-ho checked his own displays. "No, Captain. They are requesting normal trade docking. I think word has spread that humans and aliens are working together peacefully here." "Is that unusual?" "Very unusual. Most aliens have never seen humans in person. They are curious about what your people are really like." Through the windows of the command center, they could see the ongoing repair work. Humans and aliens moved around each other naturally, sharing tools, knowledge, and conversation. "I think they are learning that humans are not the monsters from the stories," Kim Hee-sung observed. Captain Lim nodded. We never wanted to be feared. We just wanted to be left alone to live our lives and protect our friends. But fear can be useful in dealing with enemies, Oh Xiongjae added. True, Captain Lim agreed. Pirates think twice before attacking ships with human escorts. But fear makes it hard to make friends and allies. Kang Minho understood what they meant. Humans had become so feared that other species avoided them even when cooperation would benefit everyone. But here on Nexus 7, something different was happening. Aliens were learning that humans could be friends as well as warriors. And humans were learning that aliens could be trusted partners and colleagues. The question was, would this understanding spread beyond the station? Or would it remain an isolated example of what could be possible? Navigator Lee Sora was monitoring the long-range sensors when she saw something that made her blood run cold. "Station Chief," she called out urgently. "We have a problem." Kang Minho hurried to her station. "What is it?" Long-range sensors are detecting a large fleet approaching. Hegemony warships, at least 12 vessels, including 3 heavy cruisers. Captain Lim, who had been reviewing repair schedules, immediately moved to the sensor display. "How long until they arrive?" 4 hours at their current speed, Lee Sora replied. Communication Officer Kim Hee-sung received an incoming transmission. "Sir, the fleet commander is demanding to speak with station management." "Put him through," Kang Minho said. The main screen, activated, showing Commander Vextal of the Hegemony fleet. His blue skin was darker than usual, indicating high stress levels. "Station Chief Kang," Commander Vextal said, "you are harboring a dangerous human warship. We are coming to neutralize this threat before it can attack civilian targets." Captain Lim stepped into view of the camera. "Commander, this is Captain Lim Sunwoo of the HSS Indomitable. We are here for emergency repairs only. We have no hostile intentions toward anyone." "Human intentions are irrelevant," Commander Vextal replied. "Your presence threatens the stability of this sector. You will surrender your ship or we will destroy it." "Commander," Kang Minho interrupted, "the human ship is under the protection of this neutral station. They have followed all proper protocols." "Station Chief, you do not understand the danger. Human warships cannot be allowed to operate freely in civilized space." The transmission ended. The command center was quiet for a moment. "Captain," Kang Minho said, "how quickly can you complete repairs and leave the system?" Engineer Ryu Inhuan's voice came through the intercom. "Sir, we need at least 8 more hours. The hull damage is more extensive than we first thought." Captain Lim studied the tactical display. 12 hegemony ships against 1 damaged human vessel. The odds are not good. Lieutenant Oh Sung-jae joined them in the command center. "Sir, we could try to run before they arrive. The ship is space-worthy, just not combat-ready." "No," Captain Lim said firmly. "If we run, they might attack this station for helping us. We will not put civilians at risk." Kang Minho was surprised. "Captain, you would fight 12 ships to protect a space station?" "Station Chief, your people helped us when we needed it. Humans do not forget that kind of loyalty." In the repair bay, word of the approaching fleet spread quickly. The alien workers became nervous, but something unexpected happened. Instead of running away, many of them began working faster to help complete the repairs. The Clicktar technician, who had been working with Ryu Inhuan, approached him. "Engineer, we want to help you prepare for battle." "This is not your fight," Ryu Inhuan replied. "You should evacuate to safety. You risked everything to save civilians from pirates. Now we want to help you." Similar conversations were happening throughout the station. Alien crew members who had been afraid of humans 2 days ago were now offering to help them. In the medical bay, Dr. Park and Han Gayung were preparing for possible casualties. The alien medical staff insisted on staying to help, even though they could be in danger. Dr. Park, the Morvani surgeon said, "We know about human stubbornness. You will fight even when you should surrender. We want to be here to treat the wounded." Captain Yoon Daiho was in the station's main communication center, talking to other merchant ship captains throughout the sector. "Listen to me," he said. "The humans on this station are not monsters. They are protectors. They saved a civilian convoy from pirates." "But Yoon," another captain replied, "they are still humans. Even good humans are dangerous in a fight. That is exactly why we need them on our side instead of against us." In his ship's conference room, Yoon Dae-ho made a decision that would change everything. He called his crew together. "We are not leaving," he announced. His Vorthan engineer looked confused. "Captain, there is going to be a battle. Our ship has no weapons." "Then we will get some. The station has defensive weapon platforms that can be installed on civilian ships." "Why would we do this?" Yoon Dae-ho looked out at the human battle cruiser being repaired in the docking bay. "Because sometimes you have to choose what kind of galaxy you want to live in. I want to live in a galaxy where people help each other, not where they fight each other." Other merchant captains throughout the sector were having similar conversations with their crews. 3 more ships decided to stay and help defend the station. Security Chief Nam Jung-min was coordinating with Captain Lim to plan the station's defense. "Captain, we have some defensive weapons, but nothing that can stop a fleet." "We are not trying to stop them," Captain Lim replied. "We just need to make them think twice about attacking." Marine Sergeant Bae Wonho was working with station security to prepare defensive positions. "Chief Nam, do you have any military experience?" "I served in the Planetary Defense Forces before coming here. Nothing like what you have seen. But I know basic tactics." "Good. We will need everyone who can fight." In Engineering Base 7, something remarkable was happening. Alien workers were installing additional weapon systems on their own ships. The Zephyrian trade vessel was mounting plasma cannons. The Morvani freighter was installing missile launchers. Engineer Choi Minji watched in amazement. "I never thought I would see aliens arming themselves to fight alongside humans." "Neither did I," Ryu In-hwan replied. "But maybe this is how things are supposed to be. Different species working together instead of being afraid of each other." Ambassador Thexval was in emergency communication with his government. "You must understand," he told his superiors, "the humans here are not aggressors. They are defending civilians." "Ambassador," came the reply, "humans cannot be trusted. They are too dangerous to be allowed free movement through our space. But what if we are wrong about them? What if they could be allies instead of enemies?" The conversation continued, but Ambassador Thexval could see that his government was not ready to change their opinion about humans. The Kliktar and Morvani ambassadors were having similar problems with their own governments. Fear of humans was too strong to overcome with words alone, but the people actually working with humans on Nexus 7 had a different perspective. They had seen humans help aliens, share knowledge, and risk their lives to protect strangers. Captain Lim was reviewing the tactical situation when Kim Hye-sung received another message. "Captain, I am getting communications from the approaching hegemony fleet. They are demanding that all civilian ships leave the area immediately." "How many ships are staying?" Kim Hye-sung checked her displays. 4 merchant vessels, 2 passenger ships, and 1 independent freighter. They all refused to leave. Navigator Lee Sora looked up from her screens. "Sir, The alien ships are moving into defensive positions around the station. They are forming a battle line. Through the windows of the command center, they could see the alien ships positioning themselves between the station and the approaching hegemony fleet. None of them were military vessels, but they were willing to fight. "This is incredible," Oh Sungjai said. "Aliens are preparing to fight other aliens to protect humans." Captain Lim activated the station-wide communication system. "This is Captain Lim Sunwoo to all ships in the area. You do not have to do this. This is not your fight." Captain Yoon Dae-ho's voice came through the speakers. "Captain Lim, 2 days ago we were afraid of you. Now we know who you really are. You are protectors, not conquerors." The Clicktar ship captain added, "You fought 17 ships to save strangers. Now we fight 12 ships to save friends." Other voices joined in. The Morvani freighter captain, the Zephyrian trader, the passenger, ship commander, all of them saying the same thing. They would stand with the humans. Kang Minho felt tears in his eyes. In 30 years of space service, he had never seen anything like this. Different species, who had been enemies or strangers just days before, were now willing to fight together. "Captain Lim," he said, "I think something important is happening here, something that goes beyond just one battle." Captain Lim nodded. "Station Chief, I think you are right. The question is, will it be enough?" On the long-range sensors, the hegemony fleet continued to approach. In 3 hours they would arrive, and everything would change. But now they would not just be facing one damaged human warship. They would be facing an alliance of species that had chosen to stand together rather than fight separately. The galaxy was about to learn what could happen when different worlds worked as one. The hegemony fleet appeared on the edge of the sensor range like a storm cloud. 12 warships in perfect formation, moving steadily toward Nexus 7 station. Commander Vextal's flagship, a massive heavy cruiser, led the group. Captain Lim Sunwoo stood on the bridge of the HSS Indomitable, now fully repaired and ready for combat. Around the station, 7 civilian ships had taken defensive positions. They were not military vessels, but they were armed and determined. "Captain," Lieutenant Oh Sungjae reported, "all systems are operational. Weapons charged, shields at maximum. The station's defense platforms are online and coordinated with our targeting systems." Through the communication system, Captain Yoon Dae-ho's voice came from the Star Dancer. "Human vessel, this is the Merchant Defense Force. We are ready to support you." Captain Lim felt a strange emotion. In all his years of military service, he had never fought alongside alien allies. "Thank you, Captain Yoon. Follow our lead and stay together. We can do this." Station Chief Kang Minho was in the command center, coordinating between all the ships. "All vessels, this is Nexus 7 control. The hegemony fleet will arrive in 10 minutes. Navigator Lee Sora was tracking the approaching ships. "Sir, they are maintaining battle formation. 3 heavy cruisers, 6 destroyers, and 3 assault frigates." Dr. Park was in the medical bay with Han Guyung and the alien medical staff. They had prepared for casualties from both sides. "Dr. Han, are you ready for this?" "As ready as we can be, Dr. Park. I have never treated battle wounds from a space engagement like this." "Neither have I," Dr. Park admitted. "But we will do our best for everyone who gets hurt." The hegemony fleet stopped just outside weapon range. Commander Vextal opened a communication channel to all ships in the area. "This is Commander Vextal of the hegemony fleet. All civilian vessels must withdraw immediately. We are here to neutralize the human threat." Captain Lim activated his own communication system. "Commander, this is Captain Lim Sunwoo. We have no quarrel with the hegemony. We are simply completing repairs before leaving this sector." "Captain, human warships cannot be permitted to operate freely. You must surrender your vessel immediately." "I cannot do that, Commander. My ship and crew are under my protection." Captain Yoon Daeho's voice joined the conversation. "Commander Vextal, this is Captain Yoon Daeho of the independent merchant vessel Star Dancer. The humans are our allies. We will not abandon them." Other alien captains spoke up. The Kliktar freighter, the Morvani passenger ship, the Zephyrian trader, all of them declaring their intention to stand with the human vessel. Commander Vextal sounded angry. "You are all making a terrible mistake. Humans are dangerous. They cannot be trusted." "Commander," came a new voice. It was Ambassador Thexval speaking from Nexus 7. "I have been watching these humans for 2 days. They are not the monsters we thought they were. Ambassador, you have been deceived. Human military forces are a threat to all civilized species." Captain Lim decided to try a different approach. "Commander, what would it take to convince you that we are not a threat?" "Nothing. Human. Your very existence is a threat. Then we have nothing more to discuss." The hegemony fleet began to advance. Weapon systems powered up across 12 warships. On the other side, 1 human battlecruiser and 7 civilian vessels prepared to defend themselves. "All ships," Captain Lim broadcast. "Remember the plan. Stay together, cover each other, and do not take unnecessary risks." The first weapons fire came from the hegemony destroyers. Plasma bolts and missile salvos streaked toward the defenders. The human battlecruiser moved quickly to intercept the attacks, its defensive systems working perfectly. "Return fire," Captain Lim ordered. "Target their lead destroyer." The Indomitable's weapons reached out across space. Human military technology was more advanced than most alien systems. The targeted destroyer's shields collapsed under the concentrated fire. The civilian ships were doing their part. Captain Yoon's Star Dancer fired its newly installed weapons at a hegemony frigate. The shots were not as accurate as military fire, but they forced the enemy ship to take evasive action. "Good shooting, Captain Yoon," Lieutenant Oh Seung-jae called out. "Keep them distracted while we deal with the cruisers." The battle developed into a complex dance of movement and fire. The hegemony fleet tried to use their numbers to surround the defenders, but the human captain had anticipated this. "Execute." "Pattern Delta," Captain Lim ordered. The defending ships moved in a coordinated formation that Oh Seung-jae had designed. Instead of staying in one place, they moved as a group, always keeping the enemy from surrounding them. The Kliktar freighter took a hit from a hegemony destroyer. Captain Lim immediately moved the Indomitable to protect the damaged ship. "Freighter captain, move behind us for repairs," Captain Lim called out. "Thank you, human ship. We will continue fighting as soon as possible." Engineer Ryu In-hwan was coordinating damage control across all the defending ships. "Captain Yoon, reroute power from your cargo systems to your shields. Zephyrian vessel, you have a plasma fire in your engine room." The alien crews were learning to fight like humans, adapting quickly, helping each other, never giving up even when things looked bad. Commander Vextal was becoming frustrated. His fleet should have easily destroyed the defenders by now, but the human tactics were confusing his commanders. Every time they tried to focus on one target, the other ships would cover it. "All ships, concentrate fire on the human battlecruiser," he ordered. The combined fire of 12 warships focused on the Indomitable. The human ship's shields flared under the assault, but Captain Lim had expected this. Now, he called out to the civilian ships. While the hegemony fleet was distracted, the merchant vessels attacked from unexpected angles. Their weapons were not powerful enough to destroy military ships, but they could damage critical systems. The Star Dancer hit a destroyer's sensor array. The Morvani freighter damaged a cruiser's weapon controls. The Click-Tar ship, despite its earlier damage, managed to disable a frigate's engines. Impossible, Commander Vextal muttered. Civilian ships do not fight like this. They do when they fight alongside humans, his tactical officer observed. The battle continued for another hour. Neither side could gain a decisive advantage. The hegemony fleet had more ships and firepower, but the defenders had better coordination and determination. Then, something unexpected happened. Long-range sensors detected new ships entering the system. Captain, Navigator Lee Sora reported, "I am reading multiple contacts. Unknown ships approaching from 3 directions." Everyone wondered if more hegemony reinforcements were arriving. But as the ships came closer, their identities became clear. "Sir," Communication Officer Kim Hyasung said excitedly, "I am receiving identification signals. These are merchant vessels from across the sector, over 20 ships." Captain Yoon's voice came through the communication system. "Captain Lim, these are our friends. Word has spread about what is happening here. Every independent trader and merchant in the sector is coming to help." More voices joined the communication channel. Captains from a dozen different species, all declaring their intention to stand with the defenders. "This is Captain Morthek of the Vorthan cargo vessel Bright Star. We stand with Nexus 7. This is Captain Zilandra of the independent passenger liner. We will not let the hegemony destroy peaceful cooperation. This is the Arcturus Mining Consortium. Our ships are armed and ready to fight." Commander Vexatal watched in disbelief as over 20 additional ships took positions around Nexus 7. His fleet was now outnumbered 2-1. "This is madness," he said. "Why are so many species willing to fight for humans?" Ambassador Thexval's voice came through the communication system. "Commander, they are not fighting for humans. They are fighting for the idea that different species can work together peacefully." Captain Lim opened a channel to the entire fleet. "Commander Vextal, you now face over 30 ships. Many of them are civilians who simply want to live and work in peace. Is destroying them really worth stopping one human warship?" The hegemony commander was quiet for a long moment. His tactical displays showed that the odds had completely reversed. Even if he won the battle, the cost would be enormous. "All hegemony ships," he finally said, "stand down. Cease fire." The weapons fire stopped. Space became quiet, except for the hum of engines and communication systems. "Captain Lim," Commander Vextal said, "you have taught me something today. Perhaps humans are not the threat we believe them to be." "Commander, humans have never wanted to be your enemy. We just want to protect innocent people and live in peace. But your military power is still dangerous." Captain Lim thought about this. "Commander, power is only dangerous when it is used wrongly. Today, humans and aliens fought together to protect each other. Is that not better than fighting against each other?" Over the next several hours, representatives from all the ships met aboard Nexus 7. The conversation was long and sometimes difficult, but gradually, understanding began to grow. The aliens learned that humans fought not because they enjoyed war, but because they believed some things were worth fighting for. Peace, freedom, and the protection of innocent people. The humans learned that their reputation as unstoppable warriors had made other species afraid to approach them, even when cooperation would benefit everyone. Captain Lim, Ambassador Thexval said,